Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome to RDNA. I am Mr. Williams. And today's story comes to you from Fox 24 out of Macon, Georgia. It's a story about a mother who came home to find her boyfriend molesting her 5-year-old daughter. The mom came home, I guess, and walked in on her boyfriend in some type of situation where her 5-year-old daughter and the man tried to flee the home. The woman reached for a sword that she had displayed on her wall, and she took a swipe at the man while he was fleeing, and she cut him on the hand. While he was able to get away in that particular instance, like that night, the next morning, he did turn himself into police, and he did have a minor injury on his hand. And he was taken into custody. The mother and daughter were taken to the hospital for observation, but they're not any further details, and they're not releasing any names. But this gentleman right here, as you can see displayed behind me, his name is John LaWarren Williams, and he's the one that's being charged with aggravated sexual assault on a minor. And I came across this story this morning, because I have, talking to my brain trust, and a lot of things come up throughout your life when you know people, and I have recently, just from things that I've heard personally, like in my family, and just things I've read, a lot of the women that I know, sadly, have been molested or sexually abused in some way. A lot of the women that I know. And when you start to take that into context, and you think about, that, women are targets. I know a lot of times that, men, I don't know if we get jealous or we don't take the woman's position or plight seriously. But women are targets. Single mothers are targets. Single mothers with daughters are targets. Single mothers with sons are targets. While all men aren't dogs or predators out looking for, someone to victimize, there are some predators out there, and they are looking for people to victimize. So, my greatest advice would, as a man, to the single woman when she's out, whether she's being pursued by someone or pursuing someone, you have to do your due diligence, and you have to keep a mindful eye, on the individuals that you bring around your children, or just the individuals that you have around your children in general. Everybody's not gonna be a bad guy. Like, some guys will take offense to, the extra scrutiny when it comes to children or whatever. But as a man, you should be willing to understand that. Because this is a case right here, where you open the door and you let the monster in, and it just so happened that you caught him before he was able to do too much damage. But what about all the occasions that that's not what happens? Mom doesn't find out. And this thing is able to go on and go on and go on and go on and do so much damage to these people, that they never really grow past that spot, where they incurred this trauma. And this is not to drop everything. This is not to drop anything at the feet of the female. This is to say that I would like to see females be more diligent. Don't just take what a man says, or that he says you're pretty, or he says you're beautiful, or that he does this for you, that he does that for you, because you never know what the underlying intentions could be. And as long as it takes to weed out the underlying intention, or to you've scrutinized every detail to the point where you say, well, this isn't this kind of situation, or this isn't that type of situation, because I would hate to see or find anyone coming home to find themselves in this situation right here. In this situation, this guy was caught pretty much, right away, turned himself in the next day, and hopefully the justice system will deal with him appropriately. But we have to protect our women, and we have to protect our children. Because if we don't, who will? Just because he looks good, just because he smells good, just because he talks good, he drives a good car, those are not the end-all be-alls of a good human being. Those are good superficial things that one person might like. But first and foremost, you want to make sure that man ain't gonna put his hand on your child or put his hand on you. Um, and I'm not gonna say, I wouldn't even sit here and try to blame the women for these situations. You know what I'm saying? I would just say that, maybe we should be a little bit more diligent, in vetting, what I'm saying, some of the people that we bring home. Because, like, I have 4 children. I have a 9-year-old daughter. She's the youngest of my kids. And, if something were to happen to her, a situation like this, you know, I would have did the same thing that lady did with the sword, if not more. You know, and like I said, we our children's first line of defense. We have to protect them. You know what I'm saying? If you're a man in a loving relationship with a woman, you're her first defense. I kind of feel like whenever my loved ones aren't with me, that's when they're least protected. You know what I'm saying? I'm not happy or comfortable until the people I love are all back in the same house. Safe and sound with me, where I know where everyone is. I know that no one's out there having things done to them. And I'm sure a lot of people feel that way. But all these things have to be put into practice. It's not, and it's not easy. You can't just look at a book, right? You can't judge a book by a cover, but you say you're not supposed to. So you can't just look at what looks good to you and just accept it. Oh, this looks good to me. It makes me feel how I want to feel. So I'm just going to blindly entrust everything that I love to this person. So I say, right, for my comments about this situation today is that, as much as in that situation myself, if I was a man that was being scrutinized, like, hey, you sure you ain't here just to, I would feel some type of way, but I understand too, because I know that there are a lot of bad guys out here doing bad things. So that's just, that's like some of that's part for the course. And I just wanted to touch on that real quick. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mean to go so long. This is Mr. Williams, RD Nay. I'll be back next time. Peace.